Hello, Marcus here. What's happening, everybody? International business author, speaker, Forbes Business Council contributor, and fellow restaurateur. I own a restaurant just like a lot of other people do, and I love helping restaurants. I love dropping some knowledge and sharing what I've learned to help your success. So, I want to talk about onboarding employees today. One of the basic steps that I think every single business, whether you're a restaurant or not, should be doing this. This is only one step in onboarding employees, bringing new employees and doing orientation. This is only one small step because you really need with the digital age now, you can have this full onboarding program that's all digital and everything, and combine it with that with in-person and in-person training. And have the reinforcement digital. It's an amazing thing. I mean, I remember when I was going through onboarding programs in the 90s, when I went to work at the Greenbrier Hotel in West Virginia and the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, you used to sit down, and especially the Broadmoor. The Broadmoor had an amazing onboarding program where you had to sit down for 4 days in conferences, and they fed you and they paid you and all this kind of stuff. But this was every week they did orientation with 3,000 employees, and you're hiring new people constantly. You're always doing orientation. And they had an orientation officer, a full-time employee, a full-time program. We don't have that luxury to do that. So how can we hack it and take shortcuts and make it effective, and that we know that, and make sure our employees are getting the proper attention and the proper training when they first come on? Now, we do several different types of digital training, everything from watching raving fans, taking a little quiz on it, to doing videos on Jamie and I, who we are, the history of the business, things like that, our loyalty program, things that people need to know, the basics. But here's something. I'm going to talk about something that I stole from a major publication, probably the most popular book ever in the world. I stole this concept from it, and I've adopted it in my restaurant. So, of course, the most popular book that I'm talking about is called The Bible. Of course, this is not religious, but this topic. But in the Bible, there's the commandments. They talk about the 10 commandments. So I said, that's a brilliant idea. 10 basic things. And going through schooling, when I was young, I went through Catholic school until I was in 4th or 5th grade. And they always reinforced the commandments. They were always a part of our curriculum. The commandments, the commandments, the commandments. I said, that's brilliant. That's genius. Why can't a business, a restaurant, have their commandments, basic points to live by that you can now reinforce all the time and bring when people come into your organization? That's what they start with, the commandments. That's what we have. We have a list of commandments. We have 22 commandments at my restaurant. These are commandments like no pointing. So I don't think it's proper etiquette. A lot of other places in the Broadmoor as well did not allow the staff to point. So we go through role playing with our staff and we tell them no pointing. So if somebody says to a staff member, "Where's the bathroom?" they can simply say, "Back to the exit sign on the left-hand side." If it's a men's, if it's a women's, past the wine rack on the left-hand side, the first door. So now notice when you go to a place, check this out. You say, "Where's the bathroom?" The first thing they do is, before words come out of their mouth, they point. They start pointing. Well, when your staff is used to pointing, especially if they're having a conversation on the side, like the waiter says to the bus person, "Hey, did you water 203, or did you water that table there?" Right? The pointing just happens, and when you're sitting at a table and you're a guest at a restaurant and the waitstaff points at you, or one of the staff members point at you, it's a little uncomfortable. So we teach the staff there's no pointing whatsoever, and it's a habit they have to break. So it's ongoing training. Training is something you do, folks. It's not something you did once. Training is ongoing. The commandments, just when I went through grade school and Catholic school, were ongoing training. Your commandments are ongoing training. But these 23, and you can have 10 commandments, you can have 15 commandments, whatever you feel are some core values and most important points of your policies and procedures you have as commandments. Now, just because it's a commandment doesn't mean you don't have to have a policy and procedure for it. So, for example, no cell phones. No cell phones. Well, then there's a policy for no cell phones, right? So things can overlap. But when employees come onto board and they come in before they take a shift, we say, "Here are the commandments. Let's take 20 minutes and go over the commandments." The commandments hang up. Then when an employee, a team member, 6 months later or 6 years later is doing something, you're like, "Remember the commandments? We just went over that like 2 weeks ago, and we went over that, when you came on board here. That's part of the commandments." And we just say that's one of the commandments. You're breaking one of the commandments, So, and you can have, like, one of our commandments is no perfumes. Waitstaff, no perfumes whatsoever, because we don't like. How uncomfortable is it to get in an elevator with with somebody who has perfume or cologne on. You're like, oh my gosh, let me get to the farthest point of this small elevator that I possibly can so I don't smell them. Well, imagine if you're sitting down eating and the waiter or waitress has some offensive cologne or perfume on. It's going to affect your dinner. You might even affect your taste perceptions because you're going to be smelling it, and smelling is how you taste things. So something like that simple is a commandment. No cologne, no perfume. We have guests that come to our restaurant because our wait staff does not have perfume, and people actually appreciate that. So sometimes the small things like that you never know. So these are things like that are just, another commandment is know our hours, know our address, know our phone number. Somebody calls, what's your address? Yeah, and you can Google it now and map directions instantly and say, sir, take me to a XYZ restaurant. But still, if somebody calls and says, I want to send you something, what's your address? Not everybody's going to actually go on the internet to get your address. So this is something, your hours, they're not going to go on the internet to get your hours. Now, these commandments, when we first opened in 2004, 2005, 2006, I think it was when we adapted 2007, you just didn't go on the internet and do what you do now. I mean, the iPhone wasn't invented yet, the smartphones weren't out there yet, so the BlackBerry was out there a little bit. You just didn't go online and say, hey, map directions, or what's XYZ Bistro's hours. It wasn't like that. So, but this is still part of our commandments. Know the hours, because if you're at a table, a guest might say, when are you open tomorrow? Or when are you open on Sunday? You're not going to say, oh, let me go Google that, right? Let me go Google. No, you got to know right away. So these are basic commandments. So put these out to your staff members, your team members, hang these up visible, go over them. We actually have it's all in a video too. I've done a 20-minute video going over the 23, 22 commandments. I say 22, 23 because 22 and 23 go together. And it's actually on a YouTube channel. It's actually in their onboarding, or in their funnel. It's in their funnel, not in their funnel. I'm talking ClickFunnels now. It's in their academy, online academy. So I can see if they've watched it. I can see what they've gone through. And it's just a 20-minute video that we can stick them on the computer right here and say, here, part of the onboarding program is their commandments. Here are your commandments. Sign off that you've gotten your commandments. And then we keep going through those and going through those. Some commandments like be on time. And if you're not on time, here's what the procedure is. Okay? So, onboarding, every business, every type of business, just not restaurants, should have their commandment list posted clearly. You should have your mission statement posted clearly. You should be reinforcing this on a regular basis with your team members. And this is something that they should live by. The commandments are something to live by. All right, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. You can drop some comments below, some questions. If you have not gotten my free book, go check it out. You can go to my website, 50mistakes.com. You can get that in the bottom of a YouTube video. There's a description for it. If you want to work more closely with me, I'm happy to do coaching. I have a coaching program. I have several different packages, anything from $5,000 a month to $2,000 a month for it. And we even have some amazing program that we're running for a limited time, which is a $500 package, which includes us placing Facebook ads, doing lead generation for you. We cover all the costs. It's $500. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it that price. But it's an amazing deal. It's you get a phone call a week. We create a chat bot for you. We target people that have birthdays on Facebook. We bring them into your database. We send them a small offer or lead magnet to bring them into your restaurant. It's a home run. Plus, I'm still coaching you every single week. We basically took two products, combined them into one. I wanted this to be a no-brainer for everybody. I haven't even advertised this yet to really anybody. This is something that we're just, kind of, when people call me and say, how do I work with you? I say, here's how you work with them. They say, sign me up. So it's not even on my website yet. So if you're looking for it, you might not find it. I should put it on there, and maybe I will put it on there. But that's how you can work with me more closely in the most cost-efficient way. And from anywhere across the globe, you can do that. We work with people all over. I send books all over the world. I'm getting ready to send one to London today. So everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And until next time.